Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 24 hours before we said it's going to be a thrilling next day. And that's the reason why I said because the first half of the day was really important for Team India down under to lead the series 1-0. It was against the odds, I must tell you. Nobody expected that. We did that. Smiles were there. And in the afternoon, we shifted towards back to business in the IPL auction. And that was even better as well. Thrilling day as we always expect in the second day. The auction is quick, it's fast, and that's the reason why. So I have out here five experts, and they will give their perspective as well. And let's begin. IPL auction 2025, the entire recap of the entire day. Let's get going and let's kickstart the proceedings. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll not waste much of the time because all of you are pretty much eager to know what is the squad, is the fan particularly happy or not, everything one by one. And let's start with the defending champions. And here it is. Orko, I'll come to you. And as always, the defending champions, Kolkata Knight Riders. This is what the squad looks like, pretty much, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can see at the bottom of your screen 8 overseas, 21 member squad. A thin one, to be honest, but not that to be worried about. But surprisingly, if you look into the squad, the concern arises: who is your captain?
Well, certainly, and I think they have earmarked someone as a captain. Perhaps they just want someone who could be the mouthpiece of the ideas of the management. Because if Venki Iyer ends up becoming the captain on paper, maybe someone from the dugout actually leads the team and the ideology is in front. So maybe that could be an idea they're looking at. And they do have a few captaincy brains in and around. They have Powell, who is a West Indies captain. They have Moeen Ali, who is not new to captaincy. So Rahane also they have bought for some reason. So maybe their inputs would, propel Venki Iyer forward. I don't know the thinking behind it, and very honestly, I'm not in support of it. But that's how the team has ended up. So as a fan, we can only just accept it. Otherwise, I think we have done good damage control. I would say damage control because I felt we overspent on Venkatesh Iyer. But again, we got a few steal buys, and I'm pretty happy with it overall. So the composition is pretty good enough.
Okay, talking about a steal by, I see it's a more or less a new look Kolkata Knight Riders side. Moving on to the overseas section, to be honest, keeping aside Ramonel Gurbaz and the retention to Jamaicans, to be honest. I can see is shall I say Eden Gardens or shall I say Eden Waka, to be honest, because Enric Nokia, then you have Spencer Johnson, Umran Malik, green top pitch on the cards, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And with Bharat Arun in the mix, I think he perhaps demanded that kind of a lineup, with a lot of pace in it. I still feel that we are a bit thin in terms of you having an Indian pacer because Harshit, Vaibhav, and Umran, all three of them aren't the most experienced if you think of. You perhaps need a spearhead. Obviously, Nokia or Johnson can't be that, and neither the remaining three Indian pacers. So I did believe that we could have maybe cashed in on someone like Shardul because if not as a spearhead, but he
Absolutely.
would bring in some experience. But again, we cannot question the think tank of a team, especially a team that became a champion recently. So let's see what they do.
Absolutely. Shardul Thakur being unsold in an IPL auction, that was one of the shocks, to be honest. But as you said, let's back the team that has been champion last season. Once again, I'll go back to tomorrow. Final question for the Kolkata Knight Riders. Did the strategy of Venkatesh Iyer getting too high, to be honest, did that spoil the entire plan for the Kolkata Knight Riders going forward after that bid?
Absolutely. I know that people would cover it up completely and they would say that we just wanted him, so we went for him. But if you look at the other options which could have been pondered upon, we didn't go too hard on Rahul. For some reason, they left Rahul at just 10, 11 crore. Perhaps they could have gone to him up till 15. And in an auction where Butler is 16, Rahul is 14, if you go for 23 or rather 24 for Venkatesh Iyer, it will never make sense to me no matter how well he does. I have full respect for the player, but I still believe that we made a mess over there. But I'm happy that the damage control was done. Perhaps they could have saved that money, to buy someone like a Salt and maybe Nitish Rana, who would have come cheaper and made him a captain who is comparatively proven. And I'm pretty surprised that they didn't even bid once for Nitish Rana, someone who
That,
comes with a lot
that
of
was
loyalty
shocking, to be
quotient.
honest, because how many years did Nish
Yeah,
Rana be part of this franchise?
for 6 years. He's been from 2018, and he's been a very loyal player for KKR. Someone who has taken the captaincy reins, and when Shreyas was back, he happily gave it back. Even recently, when he had that fracture, he somehow tried to recover from it quickly. Started practicing with just one hand, holding the bat, and he was in a hurry, and he had the passion to play for the team. And to treat him in that way is, I think, a bit unfair. I'm not saying that we would have bought him because we had a very thin purse, but at least one bid or two could have made a bit of sense if you look at the loyalty quotient. But I'm sad that it didn't happen. So let's see how it pans out.
Absolutely, that's something to be honest. And I want to add a little bit of Indian flair out there. Harshid Rana, he has got a maiden test cap at Australia, so he will be a different bowler, to be honest, when it comes to leading the pace attack for the Kolkata Knight Riders. KKR is done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the next team, a team that was expected to dictate terms in the IPL auction, to be honest, having the highest bids, highest purse, triple-digit purse, and that man from England has a smile on his face, Andy Paji. So many players. I wonder which player you did not bid for, to be honest, because every single player that went to the table, Punjab Kings was very much ready. But first of all, I'll come back to you before I move on to the auction table and the squad. Did you understand? Did your management understand how the right to match card uses?
That was my only disappointment with what we did on the auction. We didn't really stretch other teams' budgets. I'm sure, like today, we saw Sam go for, was it 2.4 crore? Had we put the
Something
RTM
like
in, just for the sake of putting the RTM in, and we could have always said no to that. So they would have bidded at least
Exactly.
5.5 crore for him. And again, we did the same with yesterday Harshal, because 8 crore, he was a good price, and we could have gone slightly higher for him because we didn't get Deshta Mukesh, because Gandhi ji, he knew that. And then obviously we could have bid yesterday. We could have bid for Ashdeep. When it comes to 425, we could have bid up to 15, 16 for him.
Yeah.
Because other teams knew we weren't going to pay the 18. So I think some of these little things that we didn't probably really do, but other teams, we gave them the money to spend more money. And I think that was what we did. But yeah, RTM stuff, I think we could have done a bit more.
Okay, RTM stuff could have been more, and that's where I come back to your squad as well, Paji. So many good names. Both I'm counting here how many Australians have been picked: Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, Aaron Hardy, Josh Inglis, Xavier Bartlett. So many are there. Is this absolutely a Ricky Ponting flair, to be honest, because he's the head coach? 5 Aussies, not surprising to me. But a little bit of experience is there. Arshdeep Singh, Yuzvendra Chahal, Vijay Kumar Vishak has been got for 1.8. If Kuldeep Sen, and a little bit of talented player. I've heard this about him so much at the DPL, said by Gurpalji. Priyan Sharia is there for 3.8 crores. So talk us through the entire squad overview. You went with 1.10, expected a new look side. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm relatively happy. As I say, there's one thing is paper. The other thing is inform. I think bowling wise, if we had kept Alice, Ashutosh, I would have been ecstatic because then we've got some links, and I really like Ellis compared to the Hardy that we bought. And Bartlett, again, the thing is, we went for experience in IPL, but we bought those two who have no experience in the IPL. So getting Ellis would have been really good for us, and also Ashutosh. And then not getting Deshta Mukesh, we could have got Harshal yesterday. So those are just the little things that I thought, but our form will depend on how well, Stoinis does and Maxwell does. If those two players click really well, and Ashdeep, who's got to improve his economy, takes the wickets, but improves it. But Yuzi's been a big buy. I think Yuzi is going to be the guy. And I do like Kuldeep Sen. I think Kuldeep Sen will be very, very good at Mulampur. So, yes, let's see what the makeup of the side is. Marco, 7 crore. And when you got rid of Sam for 2.4 crore, didn't he use the right to match? I think these are little things that I thought, 2.4 crore for Sam. I'll take him. 7 crore for Marco is probably a bit over budget because bowling, his batting seems very good, but his bowling, he can get hit for runs. And Mulampur is a green top wicket, so batters love the ball going quick, and the quicker it goes over the boundaries for 6. So
absolutely, that's something you need to look into because it's a new conditions. But interesting fact I've got to know looking at your squad at one glance about the overseas. as Ricky Ponting is there, not a single Englishman is there in your squad, Paji. But that's the reason why. Here is your question, first of all, is that PBKS picked good players. The issue is how to make an 11 because it looks mess. Pace attack is relatively weaker, Paji. So is the onus lying only on Arshdeep Singh?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's where who's going to perform to the top level. Sam Stoinis has to bowl better than Sam. Maxwell's our second spinner, so his performances will be compared with Livy with the ball. And then Rabada bowled really well last season as well. So Rabada, Arshdeep, Rabada at the top. We knew what our pattern was. We don't know what the pattern of that bowling will be this time. Again, will Kuldeep play or Vijay Vaishak play? We don't know until that comes in because the Indian core still has to perform. To win the IPL, your Indian core has to perform.
Absolutely.
And if
That's
our Indian
100%
core,
right.
and if our Indian core doesn't perform, then we're going to do it. But we have trust in Ponting, we have trust in Shreyas, the captain. He brings that winning mentality, how to win the IPL, how to qualify for the finals. So again, that's what our expectation should be, and we'll have to trust the coaching and the management when we start the IPL to make sure these players are ready from the first ball, and they've got to win the home game. So Mulampur has to be a fortress, and Dharamshala, which every other team likes to play at, we've got to win games there, and that's going to determine us whether we go through. But I would have really liked someone like Faf up the top. I think that was where we probably made a little mistake because Faf gives you an extra leadership on that pitch. And I think KKR did really well getting Moeen in there because Moeen, even if he's not playing, getting him around the squad, you've got your ears and eyes outside the pitch, which is very important.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you mentioned about the experience. Faf is gone for the Delhi Capitals, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, as you mentioned about Shreyas Iyer, he's an ex-captain, a defending champion. Here is a question for Dr. Arka. It says that although it's a bit late, but as we moved on to the Punjab Kings question and Punjab Kings topic, but yes, we can go back to Kolkata Knight Riders. How satisfied are you regarding the KKR squad overall? Because it did not start well. The KKR fans were not happy. Then it went on to the Venkatesh Iyer stuff, and then ended up buying a few good ones late in the day, in the second day. So I think relatively it's a good squad. But what are your thoughts? Your thoughts, Mansoor?
Well, firstly, if you summarize the approach that Venki Mysore always has in an auction, he's someone who believes in, going hard for just a few set of players and he will go for them at any cost. Like even in the past, they did some mad bidding in 2022 or 23. I'm not sure which year for Pooran, for Tim David. So Mysore has that kind of approach to go after players at any cost if he wants them. And that's what he did with Venki Iyer and hardly looked like a man who had a plan B. And I think that was a mess. But I think it was excellent that he went for De Kock, knowing that Salt would be overpriced. So we are glad that we got De Kock back and also Gurbaz for that matter. So for once, the keeping looks sorted. I think the remaining buys were pretty much easy to get through. Mayank Markande, I think, was a good spin backup. Manish Pandey is also a pretty good option to look at. Rahane, I'm not sure how he's going to perform, but maybe they might look at him as, that guy who gives that captaincy inputs to whoever the designated captain is. So overall, I would say you can give it a 7.5 out of 10 if you look at how the auction went. But maybe on paper, they look a much more superior side than these ratings. But again, I feel that Venkatesh Iyer was very heavily overpriced. In an auction where Butler and Rahul went for much lesser amounts than him, I don't find any sense in giving that much amount of money for a player. If you wanted captaincy, then I believe that he doesn't even give you that because he's not done that before. So perhaps they want to use him as a mouthpiece who could, give, freedom to the thoughts of the management or the dugout itself. Maybe the team will be run from the dugout itself with Venki being a mouthpiece. So it needs to be seen as to how things pan out. So overall, the squad looks good, but if you look at how the auction went, I'm not totally satisfied. I would maybe rate it a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10 for the Kolkata Knight Riders. That's something very brave to be honest. But you said your point. But Paji, coming back to you, there is a little bit of concern about the Punjab Kings opening duo, and Krishna says that David Warner could have been an option. How many Aussies does he mention, to be honest? Because David Warner is also an Australian. Ricky Ponting would have loved it, but not an option, to be honest.
Yeah, and I said this before. David Warner is no longer playing, highly competitive cricket.
So
He's
does
not going
he
to be the
has
same.
to have a big contract with Fox Cricket now?
Yeah, even if he has that, as soon as that kind of player is not playing regularly, the performance falls, and you can't have passengers in the IPL. Like other leagues, you can get away with it, but not in the IPL, especially like for the opening slot. And I think this is where we made the mistake of not getting Faf, because then Faf, is going to bat the 6 overs of the power
Hmm.
play. Punjabi's biggest problem has always been the power play. Can
Yeah,
we not be 3 down or 4 down in the power play? We need one really, really good anchor batsman or a third, which is an anchor that sees us through, so we only lose 1 or 2 wickets maximum in the power play. Faf was that guy, and we didn't go for him. And English or Stoinis could possibly be the opening pair. Again, that's what we will have a look at. I think English will probably be the opener, and then you have Prab Simran, who could be absolutely brilliant and
yeah.
absolutely lethal, or he could be out first ball. That's what you get with that player, and
You
that's
have
why it's
retained,
very
you have
important.
retained him, to be honest. So you might just have to take a little bit of risk at the top of the order. We might see who is your opener because Ricky Ponting is there. Shreyash potentially will be a captain as well. Moving on to team number 3 is the Chennai Super Kings, the men in yellow. And here is what the squad is. Pretty much always you have Mahendra Singh Dhoni in your ears, Rohan. So this is the squad they have gone with. A little bit of disappointed from the other franchisees. Sam Curran went for only 2.4. But looking into the bowling attack, Noor Ahmed, then you have Shreyash Gopal as well, Ravindra Jadeja, Ravichandran Ashwin, and the others. The previous looking ordinary Chepak is going to be coming back. The rank turner Chepak. Am I expecting that, to be honest?
I think the dad's army is bringing the old memories back. I think the spin twins of Ash and Jaddu with MS keeping there. I think good old times for the CSK fans. I feel of the 2010s, 2011 kind of time. So adding on, as you said, someone like Shreyas Gopal, Noor Ahmed. I think bit pricey, 10 crores, a bit too high for him. But good guy. Can you pick you wickets at any phase of the game? I think that guy's a real good mystery bowler that CSK have invested in for long term maybe. But overall, I think CSK, we know they are come prepared, well within the budget. You can say they just kind of put 25 players with pretty much the purse they had. So I think that shows the kind of systematic planning they go through, and it's
Okay.
you can see the evidence of MS background in there on the call. As well as Stephen Fleming's touch is there always. I feel so. I think
Yeah.
CSK overall, I think have done a marvelous job.
Absolutely. And if you look into the squad, and I'm not just talking about the spinners, but the batters as well, they have picked Rahul Tripathi, Vijay Shankar, Deepak Huda, Ravichandran Ashwin, you can consider because he bats higher up the order in TNPL. And a little bit of experience and youngster youth. Anshul Kamboj is creating havoc in the domestic cricket with the ball. So I think they've gone with batters who can play spin well as well. If you talk about Vijay Shankar, Rahul Tripathi, so it's more or less expected with the squad they have picked that they're going to go with rank turners. So we might expect a 130, 140 kind of games at Chepauk, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe even 150 at times because, as you said, spin will be the main key for CSK to succeed, and they need batters who can play spin as well. I think someone like Ambati Raidu was a huge miss for them earlier because of his retirement. I think Rahul Tripathi kind of fits the bill pretty well. Vijay Shankar being a localite, I think he'll give you that little extra inputs of the wicket as well as a decent all rounder because in case they go a pacer shot, he can give you a couple of overs here and there. Afterwards, the spinners can come in again. So I think they have a lot of good contingency backups as well for the home conditions, and if they go away, as you rightly said, the other pacers that they have picked I think are equally good for CSK. So I think they have kind of balanced it out for home games, a particular kind of 11 template maybe, and going away they have another kind of a bowling attack as well. So I think in that sense CSK I feel are having kind of good combinations that they can play with.
Mhm.
But we do know sometimes they like to stick with the same 11, the tried and tested formula. But I think knowing these days the conditions keep changing day in day out across the country, so I think they have learned from those past mistakes and trying to give themselves more options so that others don't kind of give them different kind of tracks where they can fall apart.
Absolutely. And they always love to bring back their core. So they've gone with what they go with as they're planning, and CSK is generally known for that. So we will not talk much about this side because we know it's not about us. It's not about what we decide. It's that man wearing jersey number 7 who decides no matter he's the captain or not the captain. Moving on to the next team is the Delhi Capitals. And a side, we generally do not see a side on paper without the name of Rishabh Pant in the side. Gurpalji, this is the side Delhi Capitals have gone with. More or less a good side. You have the likes of Fab Duplessis experience in your hand. You have the youth of Jake Fraser McGurk, Harry Brook. Donovan Ferreira, I must tell you, at 75 lakh only, is a very, very good player. And talk us through the entire squad. Overall, first of all, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm certainly happy with Delhi this time. So they had not been emotional like going bidding. So they went for 26 crores for a year yesterday, and even Rishabh Pant they tried to use RTM, but they were not overawed by the situation or being emotional. They were in pressure to buy them at any cost or like that. So they have other options in mind. So again, steel we have already have a steel buy. A
Uh-huh.
couple of four of the steel buys I can say I must say Samir Rizvi, KL Rahul,
Okay.
Ashutosh
Yeah.
Rana, Mitchell Starks, and today as well, getting Faf at 2 crore another solid a strong team. I'm not saying that we have like so many power hitters and all. It's a well balanced strong team with a good leadership core. Stark, Faf Duplessis, KL Rahul bring lots of leadership core, and then we have two exuberant young stars like Harry Brook and Stubbs. So this will make a very good exciting prospect for, and getting Mukesh back was the key. As yesterday, when you asked me who will be looking
Absolutely.
for a second day
Uh-huh.
too, so I told a couple of names. We missed Chikara because of that auctioneer. She didn't see
Yeah.
see the hand raised by Delhi Capital. But we would, but I would like ideally wanted to have Chikara and Priyansh Arya both, but they have gone for some scouts as well. So I know
Correct.
this has definitely come from the Vinu Gopal, Hemang Badani, Vijay Bhardwaj. That is why we are seeing different kind of scouts this time. And one scout I am happy because that Manav, the name is Manav,
Okay.
uh, for whom Mumbai also bid. So I thought if Mumbai is bidding for this squad and Delhi has got that player, that means that guy also have must have some talent as well. So
Ah, that's great.
overall it's a good attack. Dushmanta Chamira could be a very is also a very good pick because we need
And there
some
comes your
fast.
question. Is he your backup for Mitchell Stark?
Yeah, definitely. He's a so short backup of Mr. Star. We can always give him rest, or we can play both together on pitches like Eden Gardens, Kolkata, where the ball moves in the right, even Mumbai, and as well as on Lucknow, Ekana, and Ahmedabad. But yeah, he's definitely a backup for Mr. Stark.
Absolutely. And just like Priya mentioned as well, a massive steal, to be honest, when it comes to KL Rahul coming to the Delhi Capitals, wicketkeeper, captain, everything sorted, to be honest. And that's where we move on to the next team. That is the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And this is a side that was expected to have a good squad, and everybody was looking forward to this. On paper, I must have to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, on paper, this side looks really, really good. It's now onto the field. The management has done it. It's on to the players. Utsav, if you look into this side, first of all, Destructive at the top of the order, Phil Salt, you have Livingston, you've added Romario Shepherd, Tim David into the middle order. Nuwan Thusara is there. Josh Hazelwood was there yesterday as well. I think this is a very, very good squad, to be honest.
Yep, I think before the stream started, I was talking to Rohan Bhai, and I asked him like, "Have you ever seen a bowling attack of RCB better than this?" And both of us knew the answer. It was never. Bhuvi and Hazelwood together. This RCB auction, what we have had in the two days, it was very similar to the film Inception. We did not understand it till it was over.
Okay.
So yeah, as the bidding, as the auction unfolded, then we ended up having quite a few buys which seem, to be honest, extremely good on paper. We do not know how we will end up with on the ground, but on the field, for the first time ever, management has done a pretty good job.
Okay, so you think that management has a very good job, but here comes your question as well. Just searching for it, to be honest. Yeah, it is, and that's the reason why RCB now don't have FAF just like they had before, and like KKR, RCB also looking for a new captain. Will it be King Kohli? Will it be Rajat Patidar, or will it be anybody else, according to you yourself?
In my opinion, there are only three options. Like, if you stretch your limit, then you can find three options. Obviously, 99% probability of Virat Kohli getting back. And apart from that, maybe Madhya Pradesh captain Mr. Rajat Patidar, or maybe Krunal Pandya,
Okay,
because he has limited
okay.
LSG captaincy experience. it took LSG to the playoffs, and that is the only thing that I can name right now.
The third name you mentioned, everybody is having a smile, and I must tell you that's not a good smile, to be honest. I know everyone out here, and that's not a good smile, to be honest. But Rohan, this is a predicted playing 11 given by Priyam, and he has Virat Kohli, Phil Salt. Yes, you have a local player as mentioned by your government. Devdutt Padikkal is there, Rajat Patidar, Liam Livingston, Kunal Pandya, Tim David at number 7. I would be surprised if it's not Romario Shepherd, Swapnil Singh, Yash. Yes, Dayal, okay. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and then you have Josh Hazelwood with the impact of Jitesh Sharma and Suyash Sharma. Couple of Sharmas in the impact list. Is it a good side, or just you want to rotate with these 12, 13 players, to be honest?
I think there's one more impact player they can use, Manoj Bandage, again a localite, been in tremendous form in the Maharaja Trophy as well. So I think this kind of a 12 or 13 kind of suits most conditions. But in case of any injuries or form factor, they definitely can rotate. But as Utsav rightly said, I think the bowling is what wins you championships. The batters can just set you up. I think if a good bowling attack is there, any total can be defended, is what I feel. Unlike maybe what a Sunrisers used to do, go big at 200 plus, but still sometimes leak those runs as well. So I think you need to have a good proper balance, and I think this RCB bowling attack has that way, especially someone like a Bhuvi, who's the leader of the pack, and someone very sensible like a Hazelwood can bring that calmness to the team, I feel.
Absolutely, but when you have to look something different when it comes to RCB, very rarely we see death bowling specialist, but you have a couple of them. You have taken one from Delhi Capitals, Rasik Dar is there with your side, and
Brilliant
also
pick.
Nuwan Thusara. These two things, Rohan, I'll ask you the reason. How happy are you, to be honest?
No, very happy with Rasik Salam. I think we saw him in the emerging Asia Cup as well. Under pressure, giving away very little there and picking wickets as well. So I think that shows he has evolved pretty well as a bowler up front. We saw him pretty, I think, in Mumbai Indians jersey about 4 5 years ago, until that age thing happened with him and he was a bit down. But shows he's a very mentally tough kid to come back and deliver on the big stage like IPL, as well as in the Mustaq Ali has done pretty well too. So I think good for Rasik Salam. I think he'll only get better, even if he, because the pitch at Chinnaswamy we know doesn't quite help the bowlers. So you need a big heart. I think Rasik Salam kind of fits the bill pretty well for RCB.
Absolutely, Rasik Salam fits the bill. You have Nuwan Thusara as well, but well. There is a surprise pick for you, Utsav. I'm surprised you did not mention him. Somebody at 10.75, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. He's a leader as well. Can he be your captain instead of Virat Kohli?
Yeah, just join the side. Yeah, just like Krunal, I can understand why I must have said that wrong. But yeah, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, he, like, when it comes to IPL, he has a very limited captaincy experience. I think a couple of
Okay.
matches for Sunrisers, nothing apart from that. Yeah, I do not particularly see him as the captain of RCB, because it will just be too much. Like, from a batting heavy side, we have finally gotten a good bowling unit, and now we cannot make a bowler a captain. Like, I do not see that happening in the next 5 years at least.
Okay, so you're still going with 99% of King Kohli being your captain. Royal Challengers Bangalore on paper are happy. Utsav, one word answer out of 10, and similarly, I'll ask Rohan as well.
9.
9 for Utsav. Similarly, Rohan, is it the same?
Yeah, I agree. 9 is good since the bowling is much better than what we had last time. I think the popcorn attack we had was a joke of the IPL session, I feel, honestly. But this is much better.
Okay, so both of you are going for 9. We move on to the next team. That is the Mumbai Indians. And this is what their squad looks like, Orko. The Mumbai Indians have got more or less their core, but a little bit of here and there. Mitchell Santner has been brought back, maybe for the brilliance he has created earlier in the year, to be honest, in the Test series. Allah Ghazan for you have especially rated this player so highly, 4.8 CR. Does he deserve that, and even the others overall? But we are talking now. For a while, we were in shock that Arjun Tendulkar was not going to Mumbai Indians. They left him. But now we are talking sense. He's back to the Mumbai Indians, and he's going to play for the Mumbai Indians if he gets a chance. But especially starting with Allah Ghazan, for how happy are you that he's part of a side that will be groomed really nicely?
Well, certainly. I mean, he's just 18 years old and he has a huge amount of talent. And of late, we have seen it also in display. And he'll only get better because he's in the right frame of mind, and also in a team that back such kind of players and give them time to groom. And if you look at the past, even Sunil Narayan was a player Mumbai Indians targeted back in 2011, and they failed to get him because KKR, fought to get him. And even this time around, it was KKR versus Mumbai, but somehow they rectified the loss of Narayan, by getting Ghazalfar, and certainly a
Correct.
player whom they can look at for maybe 5 or 10 years or even more if they can. And they've had a problem with spinners. They tried Shams Mulani, they tried Piyush Chawla, they lost Trunal few years back. So they did need a spinner. So that's why they invested on that money. And as a backup to get someone like Santner is an amazing addition as well. And I think they will still prefer starting Ghazanfar because he brings a bit of mystery. He can bowl in the power play, maybe in the middle overs as well. Perhaps they'll back him ahead of a Santner. But even if things backfire from Ghazanfar's point of view, they have someone as good as Santner in the mix, someone who has done recently well in Wankhede as well, as we know from the recent test series. So I think overall their spin for once looks sorted for now.
Okay, but similarly, there is a headache out here. Who is your opener alongside Rohit Sharma? Is it going to be Will Jacks or is it Ryan Rickleton or is it somebody else like Namandir?
Well, I think they will open with Rickleton because he gives that right-left combo. He gives keeping as well. Of course, Namandir can't give you that, and maybe they have to look at someone like Robin Mins, who is a relatively unknown Indian commodity. I'm not sure how much they'll trust him because he's again the only Indian keeper they have. So I think that they would perhaps want to go from more tried and tested perspective. I know Rickleton is new to the IPL, but he's played for an MI franchise in the SA20 as well, and he's done well for them. So I think that's what they want to bring in even here, and perhaps Rickleton and Rohit would be the opening pair they're looking for.
Okay, so if you want to stick to Surya Kumar at number three, there's a man who is in his form of his life. You need a lefty righty combination. Tilak Verma could be an option at the top of the order. Similarly, thoughts on somebody like a Raj Angad Bawa as well, a very talented player, I must say.
Certainly, some people said that he has the kind of talent Hardik has, and if he's in a team which already has Hardik in it, so perhaps he might be groomed into something like that with time. Of course, he was out of favor. He was a very hyped cricketer in the last 2 3 years, but somehow lost his touch or form, or you can say reputation, coming in as a young all-round prospect for India. But of course, if he's in the right team, like the Mumbai Indians always is, I think we can well see a second 2.0 version of Raj Angad Bawa in the near future.
Yeah, he was injured to be honest, but we'll see what happens. But Sandy Paji, there is a headache in the Mumbai Indians team because Hardik Pandya is the captain. The three outstanding new ball bowlers, world's best Jasprit Bumrah is there, Trent Bolt is there, and then they have added Deepak Chahar as well. If three are playing in the playing 11, whom does Hardik Pandya hand over the new ball? How does he take it for himself?
You've got to basically give it to Deepak and Trent Bolt because their death bowling is not great. So I think that's what one of their problems will be. Who bowls the death? I know they got Bumrah at the end. Maybe even have him to bowl 3 overs at the end. They might just have to do that. Have him as a partnership break up top, and then give him 3 at the end. So who bowls with him at the end? Because as the opposition batting team, that's what they will target. They know that Bolt and Bhuvaneshwar are, it looks like a very good, swing bowling, but yeah, the death bowling is a problem. They've sorted their spin out. I would have gone for Santa Punjab Kings if we had the choice for 2 crore. That is just a bargain. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And again, at other grounds, they could potentially play 2 of them. So it's how they're going to get this in because I say like Deepak Chahar, injury prone. So that's the big problem with him. Bolt,
He's
I
a
would
little
have
bit
gone.
injury prone. Yeah.
But Bolt would have been very good for any other team. So I think they've chosen well. But Bumrah is going to be the king of the death, and how they're going to get that around, I think that's their biggest challenge.
Okay, so we will see that. But yes, Rohan, there's another name when it comes to the top of Mumbai Indians. And Mumbai Indians management said about this player as well. He will be a different player when it comes to the squad. Robin Mins, is he part of your opening duties, or is it Namandir or the names that has been suggested already by Orko?
Robin Mins, I think, is called the gale of domestic cricket. Kind of goes blazing away at the start. So I think Mumbai have a lot of options with Rohit, either Rickleton or Robin Mins. They can mix and match depending. I think that will kind of free off Rohit as well. So I think Mumbai definitely can go hard from the top of the order because that's what has been planned. someone like Surya, Tilak, and Hardik, etc., all there, I think they can definitely go hard at the top itself.
Okay, so you are saying that they can still go hard. We will leave it up to the Mumbai Indians to decide what they do because they are a lovely think tank and they might decide one of the best. Moving on to the next team, and that is the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And come back to you once again, or Rohan. And this
Yeah.
is what they do. Very less amount of all rounders can be seen, but they already have a good quality side. But they have gone with typical players, and coming to Mendes has been picked. Bryden
Yeah.
Cars has been picked. Eshan Malik, a couple of Sri Lankans, but are you satisfied with this squad? Particularly if you ask me, I'm not, to be honest, much.
No, I think it's pretty much in the bottom half for me in terms of the rating of the squad compared to all the 10 teams. Sunrisers, I think they could have gone a bit more smarter. I think not sure how Vettori and Murli as well in the table kind of brief the management. I feel a bit of a letdown, but I think the retentions that they did, I think that's where they feel they have the edge compared to other teams. Someone like Cummins is a proven leader. Henrik Klaassen, we know what distraction he can bring to the table. But a good addition for them, I think, are two people is Ishan Kishan. I think coming from Mumbai, I think he gives them that little more freedom at the top because we know how Head and Abhishek do go. I mean, guns blazing at the top. I think Ishan
Yeah,
can just continue the momentum. And for me, Mohammad Shami coming in, I think that kind of gives them that little extra zip up front along with Cummins. I think he gives them a lot more balance because he gives you the death overs as well. And he's a wicket taking bowler, man. At any time, Mohammad Shami, upright seam, irrespective of the conditions, he's your wicket taker for definitely. But good
absolutely.
picks for me. Another was Adam Zampa, another guy who can
Uh-huh.
keep it tight because you know how Hyderabad pitch is can be very flat. If you can get a spinner who can do that holding role a little bit and pick a odd wicket here and there, I think that kind of gives them that rounded attack. But in terms of picks, a bit disappointing. But the balance of the squad looks decent.
The balance of the squad looks decent. Fans are excited to see
Zishan
how
Ansari.
Zishan Ansari performs. But Pat Cummings and Mohammad Shami are with the new ball duties. You have to look for a third. Maybe you go for somebody like a Jaydev Unadkar, but that's not enough experience. Not enough backup is what Gopal is saying as well, and I absolutely agree. But here is a point from him as well. Ishan Kishan always has a good record
Yeah.
at Uppal Stadium and in search to get runs to be back in international cricket and also get a contract from BCCI. Is that on the cards?
I think that'll happen at the right time when it required, man. So I think those things keeping aside, thing is your bat needs to do the talking for you. You get runs. I think everything else, all the critics and trolls can eat humble pie is what I feel. So I think Ishan Kishan, we have seen the talent the lad has. A double hundred in ODI cricket isn't a child's game. So as Krishna did say, Hyderabad wicket will suit him to go easy. I mean, to play his natural game. I feel rather than curb his instincts because Head and Abhishek will do the same. So I think that gives him more license and freedom to do better. So I think we hope end of the day Indian cricket should benefit and talented guy and a young boy like Ishan should also do equally well because that gives Team India a lot more options. When we have 2-3 parallel tours happening, I think these guys can always chip in and do the job required to keep the country's flag keep winning on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have to watch and wait and see what they perform at the IPL. But moving on to the next team, just like I said about, I'm not, to be honest, happy with Sunrisers. I personally think that this franchisee had the worst IPL auction, to be honest, the Rajasthan Royals. And overall, I don't see enough backups, enough depth in the squad. Utsav, if you look onto this squad on paper, how much are you rating, first of all, then moving on to in depth?
Player to player, if you look at this side from the last IPL, I think they have made a major downgrade, both in terms of batting and bowling. They let go of Butler, Yuzi, Bolt. Did they make enough recruitments to justify that? I don't think so. I am a bit disappointed with the management. I think ever since Manoj Badale sir and Kumar Sangakkara just got together and started to build this side, this side started to look better. But I do not know what route they have gone this time around. If I have to rate this side, probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rather be below average, so maybe a 3.5, 4. Considering just not happy with the signings. They spent a lot on Jofra Archer, 12.5. The sample size isn't much after he returned, and I just do not see him as the same player what he was before. And apart from that, a lot of money spent on the Sri Lankan bowlers, Wanindu Hasaranga and Nuwan Tushara, and I think this has just become a routine of replacing UZ with Wanindu Hasaranga, and it did not work out at RCB. Let's see how it happens at Rajasthan.
If
They
you
have gone
say
back
on
to
an average, I'm sorry to interrupt. On an average, if you compare both, add both the players of the Sri Lankans, 10 crore has been spent. But is one
yeah.
pick we have seen gone to record books because being the youngest player to come into the auction table and also get sold and also be a crore Prati, to be honest, is that a Rahul Dravid pick, to be honest. Young 13-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi has gone to the Rajasthan Royals, 1.1 CR. Thoughts on him? How excited are you? And is he going to get some game time?
He might just get some game time, and absolutely, excellent buy, I would say. Vaibhav Suryavanshi, what a great time to join, and what a great franchisee to join, especially at the time when you have Kumar Sangakkara in the dugout as well as Rahul Dravid.
Rahul
It just
Dravid.
cannot get any better for a player who is 13-year-old, who has been balling at the under 19 World Cup, not balling like balling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think couldn't be a better opportunity. And I think out of all the 10 teams, if Vaibhav Suryavanshi's best franchise that he could have gone for, it is Rajasthan Royals, and I think
Okay.
he might just be groomed well here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very important point, Paji. But Sandy Paji, I'll come back to you because we have seen a little bit earlier in this tour of South Africa, Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson being the openers. Rajasthan Royals did not go for Butler anymore. So can we see the likes of Sanju Samson and Yashasvi Jaiswal being the openers with Riyan Parag at 3 and Dhruv Jurel at 4?
100%. I think that's the reason why they got rid of Butler. Simple as that. They want to go with Sanju Samson and Yashasvi up the top. I think their biggest mistake was overpaying for Hetmeyer and Jurel. I don't think Jurel has done anything that acquires 14 crore. So you've burnt, probably 7 crore over your budget for him. And then Hetmeyer, he's a hit and miss Hetmeyer, and I just really think that's where they've done their damage. And not Sanju and Yashashvi, that's your main gun players. But again, they are just one injury away. And will
Absolutely.
Archer be fit?
That was my question, to be honest to you. You have watched him so closely, and teams are rotating him, alternative games he's giving chances. IPL
Yeah.
teams will not look into that, to be honest, because if you do not play for purposefully, banned for 2 years, gone, bang. So, what's your thought on that, to be honest? Jofra Archer has not been a cheap buy, to be honest. 12.5 CR. So, that's very expensive with
Yeah.
his talent. He has the talent, but will he
Yeah.
provide and prove his worth at the 22 yards?
I can't see it. Personally, I can't see it because he's just not going to be playing enough cricket to be doing to be in that. And he's not the same bowler that he was when he was first there. So for Rajasthan fans, do not expect the Jofra Archer, that was scaring Steve Smith with bouncers in the Test cricket. He's not there at the moment. And whether you get the best Jofra Archer, that's debatable, because if he's playing any type of cricket, I'd be really worried. I'd have my the pillow over my head, hoping that he's not going to get injured, because if he does get injured, he gets injured for a long, long time. So,
And that's not good news for your country, I must tell you.
and
But
yes,
yes,
that's not good for us. But as I say, his value was 8 crore, and they've paid 4.5 crore
extra.
more than they should have done, and that's cost them because, I say, you look at this team, and it is far less of a team than what they had before, bowling and batting. So
Yeah.
I think Rajasthan are favourites to finish bottom, unfortunately, because I
Yeah,
just
I won't be
can't see
surprised,
where.
to be honest. Absolutely. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt, but I won't be surprised if what you said, because the team doesn't have enough depth, to be honest. I come from one Paji to the other, and that if they have picked a couple of overseas left-handers, Gurpalji. Fazal Farooqi is in his form of his life, I must tell you. So he's a very, very good bowler in swinger. And they've gone with the young South African Mafaka as well. So what's your thought when it comes to South Africa and then your Afghanistan duo? Can Rajasthan Royals go with two overseas pace attack, Jofra Archer and one of them between Farooqi and Mafaka?
I guess Fazal Farooqi has been in the form of his life, be in the World Cup, be in the ODI World Cup or T20 World Cup, and he definitely he's a bowler to watch out for. I thought most of the teams will definitely target Fazal Farooqi, who wants to have a left arm pace bowler. But since all of them already have their choices of left arm pace bowler,
Correct.
so it was happened to that Rajasthan went for them. And Mapaka, as we say, they have a youngster Suryavanshi, and Mapaka is a young bowler. So Rahul Dravid likes to have youngster and work with the youngsters. So that was no brainer from that, and he was coming in a steel buy, because 750 lakhs or 75 lakhs is not nothing money, and they were hampered by the loss of budget which they overpaid to Jurel and retaining Hetmeyer. So they could have been smart enough to retain couple or three players and then come with an auction with some purse, and could have got more better players than what they have gone for this time.
Okay.
But most of the auction they
Absolutely.
were
Yeah, a
just
little bit
65
of
lakhs.
panic buys, I must say. I absolutely agree with both the parties that you have said. A little bit of panic buys, but not enough depth in the squad. And that's the reason why they all are saying Rajasthan Royals could be in the bottom of the points table. In a mega auction, you cannot make a good squad. And I think they made a few blunders in their retentions, to be honest, overpricing a couple of players. And that's where everything changed, to be honest, for them. Moving to the next team, the penultimate team, the Lucknow Super Giants. Sandy Paji, here is a side, another Australian coach. And how many Australians have they gone with? Mitch Marsh is there, I can see. Shamar Joseph, a very, very good, handy West Indian. He has been right to match card used, and not much, to be honest, when it comes to the overseas. But the biggest of the lot, Rishabh Pant, 27 crores. If you look into the squad overall, are you happy with it? That they have gone with a new look side, Lucknow Super Giants? Can they do something better this time?
Yes, I really like this team, and the reason being, it's always exciting to watch them. And you look at the way they've done it. They've got Puran, they've got Markram, they've got Marsh. That's solid, experienced players. Their bowling looks balanced as well for me, because obviously they got. They've got a good bowling attack, which will, Indian Mohsin. They kept Mohsin. Mohsin, I really liked Mohsin. I think where they've slightly gone off, they've lost Arshad Khan and they've lost Yudhvir. I think Yudhvir probably is going to be a very good pick for Rajasthan for 35 because he was coming good. I like the look of him, but they look good, and they got Bishnoi. They've got their spinner sorted. They've got Pant as their captain, the face of the franchise. They wanted the popular phrase for the franchise. They'll play exciting cricket, and again, Puran's form, that's going to do really well. But I think Markram was a bargain, and he gives them the extra bowling option as well. So I really like Lucknow, and
You like luck? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just got to see how they gel together, and again, the pitch at Lucknow, will it suit their style? I think that's a big question. What we've got to really do, because it's slow, tacky wicket,
True that.
but they've got players that
And
may
that's what we said yesterday as well. Orko, as we were talking about yesterday, they need to change the Lucknow surfaces because they've got so many left-handed power out hitters, but still it will not suit their surface. And here is a very interesting point I've seen.
and they're going to keep Mayank Yadav fit. I think that's the
Yeah,
biggest
has to
challenge
be.
for
They
them.
have to. Just like Rajasthan have to do for Jofra Archer, Lucknow Super Giants have to do for Mayank Yadav. Orko, did Lucknow Super Giants make a squad? Venki Mysore with the paddle. Is the team built with a little bit of ego?
Well, I think they build a pretty decent squad, but again, as we know, they have to deal with that middle order. Having too many left-handers out there. Maybe slide in someone like Badoni, up the order. Maybe use him at 4 or 5 just to tinker with the combination. But of course, they do have a bunch of big names. They have Miller. They even got Shabazz for that matter. He's someone again who's a very capable player. And with Goenka having those Bengal roots, I think that was a buy which they did based on that. But again, his recent form also has been good. So they do have a lot of options, and they also have a lot of bench strength. So if they really get their perfect combination, they can still be a good team to look at.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
Samad. I like Samad Pritham. I think Samad was a good
Abdul
purchase.
Samad is there. Shabazz Ahmed is there. If you look into, I'll come back to the squad once again for all of you. If you look into the bowling as well, Indian good bowlers are there. Avesh Khan, Akash Deep, Akash Singh, the left arm pacer is there. M. Siddharth, he impressed me, to be honest, the last season. This good. Arshin Kulkarni is there. Then you have the Samad and the Shabazz. So I think on paper, this side is good. It's the very important point, the very important sentence which Sandy Paji mentioned. It's how they gel around as a unit, how they perform. But Paji, Is Puran the captain or is it Rishabh Pant?
I think it's got to be Rishabh Pant, isn't it? He's got to be the captain. Again, he'll be the wicket keeper as well. So that wicket keeper captaincy, they'll have to try with him. But again, at least what they're doing now is they'll get an exciting. Where will they bat Rishabh Pant? Would he bat at four? I think a four is a good place for him to bat at. But again, yeah, I really like them. I think Avesh Khan at LSG did really well last time. Expensive at the start, but at the death, he seems to nail the Yorker now. So I'm quite happy with what they've done. And again, the Indian core of Mohsin, Mayank, and Avesh, very good thing for Indian cricket. And you add Bishnoi and Shabazz Ahmed, and suddenly you got 5 decent bowlers. I think where they've lost out, as I said before, that Indian all-rounder like Arshad Khan or Yudhvir. I think if they kept one
Shardul
of those
Thakur
two,
could have been an option for them.
Shardul Thakur could have been there, but I liked Yudhvir and Arshad Khan last season. I thought they were coming good right at the end, and they give these guys experience. They really started playing consistently at the end, and they started performing. And suddenly they're out of the team, and that's why other teams have snapped them up. So I think Lucknow dark horses, and I like Langer as a coach. I really like the way he's with the guys and the way he's on the media. He's a very, very nice guy, and I don't think we'll see Rishabh Pant and Goenkaji having a fight on the side of the dugout. So I don't think that's going to happen.
That's something very important. All the fans need to know. Thank you so much, Paji. Final team of the day, final team of the IPL. All the 9 teams have been covered. The Gujarat Titans, and this team also, I think, on paper looks good. I've done a good auction, Gurpalji. If you look into the squad, Josh Butler at the top of the order. If you added Kareem Jannat, Glenn Phillips as your all-rounders. If you come to the middle order, firepower of Sharfin Rutherford is there. Washington Sundar, 3.2 only, 3.2 CL. I think that's one of the steal buys. Gerald Kodzi is there. KG Rabada, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna. Just like I mentioned about Eden Waka. Is this a Narendra Modi Geba?
First of all, a big applause to Nehraji for keeping his friendship alive with Ishan Sharma, and he bought Ishan Sharma for 79 lakhs. Yes. So he could be assistant bowling coach in future as well for the GT. So there must be a big planning to get Ishan Sharma in Gujarat, in system of Gujarat, taking him away from Delhi, because there is Munaf Patel in Delhi now as a bowling coach. So Ishan Sharma is gone to Gujarat, and they will be spending lots of time in Goa after the IPL. So both of them are retired. So it's a good team. Again, Nehraji, top class. He is an Indian coach, a coach without. There was no laptop, one laptop only with, I guess, Vikram Solanki or someone. No other laptops.
You don't need that because Nehraji's brains is enough. He's always in the ears of the owner.
And first of all, you go for bowler. Every bowler is coming, he's bidding. Every bowler is coming, he's bidding. कितने bowler लोग हैं यार? They gone Manas Sutar. Manas Sutar is a great pick as a backup for if they can play Washington Sundar. Washington will come into the 11. 3.20 is a steal deal for them, and it's a big ground. And off spinner, finger spinner will definitely work well over there. So they have a very good pick. Only worry is like that. Where is the middle order? They are thin in the middle order, but their lower order and top order is too heavy, and they have a very good bowling attack. Rabada, Mohammad Siraj, you name the bowlers, you will find all the bowlers. You name the spinner, you will find all the spinners over there. You will get the finishers. More onus will be on. I guess we will see more of a Rahul Tewatia as a role. Now he won't be batting too deep, too low. So there will be more responsibility given to Rahul Tewatia, Shah Rukh Khan. I would love to see these players come and show. They get more chances to bat up the order and show their true potential. And then they have the best opening pair and number 3 all settled. Butler and Gill can play 20 overs alone. Add Sai Sudarshan to them. They can play 20 overs.
Is there. And then you come to the firepowers. To be honest, they have a good side. But Utsav, Paji mentioned about Nehra and Ishan Sharma have a good bond. After the IPL season, they can go wherever they want. But wherever you go, you need a permission now because you've got DSP Mohammad Siraj snatched from the Royal Challengers Bangalore and into the Gujarat Titans team. Still feels emotional because today morning we saw Mohammad Siraj on the turf and similarly on the first slip cord and Virat Kohli on the top. That duo will be missing, to be honest.
Yeah, it will be very hard to watch Mohammad Siraj bowl to Virat Kohli, and Imagine if he takes the wicket of Virat Kohli. I am
Will,
very
will,
happy
will,
that
he,
he
will,
got
he, will
that
he do the
opportunity.
Sue?
No.
No, he won't. He won't. He has a lot of respect for Virat Kohli, and he will not be doing that. But if it does, it will be a sight to look out for. Uh, Mohammad Siraj, I'm the one thing I'm happy about is that he has gotten the money he deserved. He had been playing at a very low cost for RCB over the years, and finally he has gotten I guess 12.5 or something. So yes,
Yeah,
happy about that. And if you guys remember in 2022, I guess Philip Salt was playing for Delhi, and he had an argument with Mohammad Siraj, and now Salt is in
correct.
RCB and Siraj is out. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
that is a little more heartbreaking, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just part of the game.
Okay, so both of you, and as an overall, I think that there's a comment in the comment section as well. GT giving a 10, and that's what is something to be looking forward to. Final question before we end this session, because there has been a wonderful auction, to be honest. Mega auction we always look forward to. Starting with you, Rohan, tell me the one team you think out of these 10 teams who have had a wonderful auction.
Well, historically, if you keep it as a reference, I think definitely I'll say RCB here. From whatever we had, I think this is much, much, much 10 times better, honestly. But as an overall squad of 20 odd, I think CSK has nailed it pretty well. Good kind of combinations they have. I think these two have done pretty well. Mumbai as well with this thing. But if you ask me to rate, I think CSK is marginally ahead.
Okay, CSK is your team, so your heart was saying RCB. You had
Hmm.
Mumbai Indians as well, but at the end you chose one. That's what I wanted to know too. Thank you so much. Sandy Paji, over to you. Is it your franchise or somebody else?
Unfortunately, not my own franchise. And I do like Lucknow. I do like Punjab. They've done well. But I still think Gujarat look really nice. I like the balance of Gujarat Titans and the advantage of those bowlers on that multi pitch, especially if they bowl first. I think they could be very, very dangerous. Keep teams under low totals, and they'll be able to do well. But I think overall, I think that all teams have done well. It'll be a very, very good IPL to see. And again, I can't predict the winner now because we'll see what happens in the tournament. I think that's the beauty
Yeah.
of this tournament. All the teams look strong on paper. Can they deliver on the pitch? And I really do think I think Vikram Slanky's done a good job. So let's see
Okay.
what happens with
So
them.
you're going with Gujarat Titans. Similarly, the other Paji, Gurpal Paji, what's your pick? Is it just like Rohan mentioned RCB, Sandy Paji mentioned GT? Is there anybody else you're going for as expected?
I will go with Delhi Capitals. We had
Okay.
a good auction as compared to the previous ones, and we have built a strong team. So I won't say straight away say it's a champion side, but it's a strong team. Could be a work in progress side during a tournament. And if we reach knockout, then we have Stark. Then Stark will handle in the knockouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One
Stark will
thing there,
handle in the
Pritam,
knockout.
one thing there, Pritam, I think the most improved team is Delhi Capitals from what they
Most
had last
improved
season.
team is Delhi Capitals, but I still want to keep a Royal Challenge Bangalore. I think they never had a balanced squad, to be honest. Either the batting was heavy, bowling was weak. Bowling was heavy, batting was weak. This time, I think all bases are covered, to be honest. Talking of bases covered, Kolkata Knight Riders fan, Orko, which team are you going forward to?
Well, if you look at the way they strategize the auction, trying to buy back most of their players and also, never really paying too excessively to a player, I think CSK had a very good auction. And also the fact that they got, Ashwin, Noor Ahmed already with Jadeja in the mix. I think they have gotten that just the kind of squad they need in that particular ground. And of course, Gujarat, because Nehraj, he and his entire team really did very well. They have a bunch of multifaceted players. Of course, maybe in the middle order, perhaps they could have gone for someone like Nitish Rana. Perhaps they would have, completed them in total. But still, I think they are a very manageable squad with a bunch of multifaceted players. So Nehraji and Coconut Water, I think, would be enough to make Gujarat Titans go through. So I think GT and CSK have done a decent job. And of course, even KKR has done a decent job on paper, I would say. Perhaps not sure about the captain, perhaps not sure what made them pay Venkatesh Iyer so much. But again, the game is played on the field, and I think on paper they still look decent. But if you look at the auction strategy, I feel CSK and Gujarat did a very good job.
Okay, who would have thought that in an IPL mega auction? This is a very interesting fact said by Krishna Bhopal. CSK in these both days have not paid a single player more than 10 CR. That shows about the strategy this team does, to be honest. Final question, final person. Utsav, is it your team or somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team has its own holes that they have left. Even RCB does not have a spin bowling attack. We have just got one leggy, Suyash, and that too is a kid. But just because of the intent we came out with, uh, I never expected us to not go for the big names and obviously just go for the emotional picks, go for KL Rahul, go for UZ for up to 20. We did not do that, and that makes me really proud of this management. Thank you so much to Mohammad Bobat, Andy Flower, and Dinesh Karthik. So yeah, I will pick my teams.
Okay, so you're going for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Final thing, yes, Paji.
So I would say out of the 10 teams, 9 teams will be happy and will be sleeping well tonight. They have got, or because all the 9 teams have got what they wanted. The only team in my worry is Rajasthan Royals, and that's where
Absolutely,
the Rahul Dravid's work starts. That's where the Rahul Dravid work starts.
absolutely.
How he can make that side a champion side, or maybe reaching it if they reach at playoffs, that will also very good thing.
Absolutely. I did not want to ask this question, which team had the worst auction, but I think you answered on behalf of the rest, to be honest. Everybody would have said the same. Thank you so much, Paji. Thank you to all of you, all five of you, and all the people who have joined in the comment section. Both the days, ladies and gentlemen, IPL auction is done and dusted. And also, you have all the details out here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And as well as we will be back because India down under continues. Second test at Adelaide, pink ball. We have a long break. Rohit Sharma is back down under as well. You see, now the IPL shirts will go out and the Indian shirts will come in. Thank you so much, all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Have a good sleep. Goodbye and Tata.
India, India.
चलो